Hi everyone, so this is just a quick tutorial video on how to use regular expressions find in files to quickly change the skill set of an entire pack of Lemmix levels. So in this example I'm going to be using Lemmix Redux and I'm going to be patching it so that all levels have infinite uses of each of the new skills that are under experimentation for probably version 12.12 of NeoLemmix. Could change which version, but that's not the main point here. So the first thing we want to do is create a copy of this pack because we don't want to overwrite the original. So I'm selecting the pack, Control-C, Control-V. Obviously if you prefer to do the right-click copy, right-click paste, that's fine as well. I'm just using keyboard shortcuts. Likewise, I've used a keyboard shortcut here to rename it, which is just F2. And then what we're going to want to do is edit the info file. I've got these set to open in Notepad++, but if not, just open them in it manually. And we want to alter the name just so that we can tell the two packs apart when we're in NeoLemmix. So I'm going to call it Lemmix Redux Modified, just to keep it simple. Oh, and I've just hit Control-S to save. Sorry, I'm very used to using keyboard shortcuts. I will try to remember to point out when I do so. And anything kind of trickier I will point out we find without shortcut. So anyway, now that that's done, what we want to do next is do what's called a find and replace in files. So you probably know find, like the search feature in text editors. You might have seen find in files, you might have seen replace. What we're doing here is find and replace in files, which is basically both of them combined. So I'll show you again. To get to that we go search, and we can actually get to it from any of find in files, or replace, because it's a tabbed window that pops up. We can just click between them. So what we want to do is go to the find in files tab, and we need to set the settings right. So directory, there's a shortcut here. So we've already got open this file info.nxmi, which is in the packs folder that we want to work with. So what we can actually do is click follow current doc, and as you see it's set this to the current one. Just remember to unclick this if you don't want that to happen later, because it will automatically set the folder for this to the current document anytime this is on. Okay, so the filters, we want level files, so for that we want *.nxlv. And the other settings we want to check, we want to make sure in all subfolders are checked, because as you can see the levels aren't in this main folder, they're in these subfolders. And we also want to change this to regular expression and enable the dot matches new line. Now ultimately we need to type the regular expressions into find what and replace with here, but at first I'm just going to type them out in a Notepad++ document window just so that you can see what they actually are and to give a very brief overview of how they work. It's not going to be a full regex tutorial. Okay, so basically what we want to do is identify the skill set section in each level. I'll bring one up to show as an example. Yes, I don't have these set to open in default in Notepad++. So what we're looking for is in each file we want to find the skill set section, which of course will be slightly different in each file, and we want to replace it with our own custom one. So what we can see is that the skill set always starts with $ skill set, has some stuff in between, and ends with $end. So the regex we want to find is /$ skillset $*$end. So what this means, so the slash before the $ is just to tell it use an actual $, because otherwise it would interpret the $ as a special character with a special meaning, whereas right here we just want to interpret it as literally that exact character. So for special characters in general we put that slash before them. So skill set and end, obviously that's just plain text. The other thing is this $*? So that's a combination of 3 different meanings here. So the dot means match any character, and that's actually why we've set the dot matches new line here, because if we look back at our file we can see there's a whole bunch of new lines, and usually the dot won't match a new line. We need to specifically enable this so that it does. Finally, the question mark after the, oh sorry, I didn't explain the asterisk means match the previous character any number of times. So it could be 0, it could be 1,000,000, it could be anywhere in between, it could be more, obviously it couldn't be less because you can't match it a negative number of times. And finally, the question mark means as a modifier for this asterisk, which means, because normally this dot asterisk would find the longest possible match of any characters, so, and then the question mark tells it to find the shortest instead. So if we left it finding the longest, it would see skill set here, and then it would look for the longest possible set that still finishes with the $end. So it would select all of this, and this is a relatively small level. It only has one terrain piece because it's a special graphics level. So instead we add the question mark, and that means it will find the shortest. So the shortest thing it can find that starts with $skill set and ends with $end would of course be this, and that is exactly what we want to be replacing. So that is the expression we've got to search from. And indeed, as an example, I've just used shortcut keys, so we're just in regular find mode here at the moment. See? Finds that and nothing else. We can try it at a different level. See? Different skill set, but it still finds it. Okay, now the other thing we have to consider is what we want to change it to. So, with this, I'm going to write this out on multiple lines at first. In fact, what I'm going to do first is write it out in plain text. Not that the order really matters. Typos do matter though. Okay, so that's in plain text what we want, but obviously, as we can see here, we've got to type it out all on one line, and also it is still going to be treating some characters as special regular expressions ones. In particular, the backslash or forward slash, I don't know which is which, sorry, but this slash and the dollar symbol. So we still need to put the slash before those, or the technical term for it is we need to escape those. So slash $skill set, and the other thing is it's all one line, so we can't put a literal new line like this in it. Instead, for this we use /n. You might see in some cases /r/n. That's actually a Windows versus Linux difference. It's a bit more complex than that, but in this case, NeoLemmix can understand either, so you could use /r/n and it would still work fine. NeoLemmix can accept both. It can accept a single file that has a mixture of both. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to use /n to keep it simple. Okay, then slider infinite, so /n at the end of the line. Bearer, spelled correctly, infinite. Grenader infinite. Laser infinite. And yes, don't use. And then we just need to merge this onto one line. These spaces here just kind of keep it looking nice, like as you can see it's indented. So NeoLemmix does not actually care whether these spaces are here or not. We can take them out, mix and match, it'll all work fine. Okay, so now we've got this result all on one line. So that, I'll just keep a copy of it here as well, goes into replace with. And what I'll do, as you can see it's kept it when I change tabs, we'll just try this on one level first. So, replace, it's worked. Let's try it on another one. Replace, it works. So, you can see the general idea of how this works. You can see that it's working. So now let's run it on all of them. So we'll just double check our setting. It's the right, oh, it's not the right folder. Oh, because this follow current doc has put it into the gentle subdirectory because I've got a level from gentle open. Back when it's set to the right one, I was on the info file, which is the main one. So I'll just modify that so as you can see it's the packs base folder, and we've got in all subfolders. We don't need in hidden folders for this. We've got regular expression, dot matches new line, asterisk.nxlv filter, and we've got our instructions. The one thing I'll point out is always when you're doing like several in a row, double check what's in find what. There are certain situations where it will overwrite this based on what you've selected or what your cursor's focused at, so always double check the find what box if you're not putting something new into it. I don't think the same happens with the replace with. You can kind of leave that one as is, and it's possible I'm confusing this with another app, but in general it's always safest to double check this kind of thing. So anyway, at this point we're going to go replace in files and ask us to double check. You sure you want to replace all occurrences? So here we can double check the folder and file type. It doesn't show us the expressions again, and there it's going through it. 160 occurrences were replaced, and that's right because there's 160 levels in Redux. You might think, oh, but we've already done 2, but the thing is, yes, we've done these 2, but it's still got a skill set section, and this search will pick up on any skill set section. It doesn't care if it's already one that's modified, so picks up on this pattern 160 times, once per level file, and replaces all of them with this, even if that happens to be what it already is. So yeah, you don't have to make special considerations for levels that already have the skill set you want. Just go through and do them all. So yeah, that's it. And I should probably just do a short compressed version just to show how this works without all the technical explanation. So yeah, here we go. Just clean that up. So crash course is we copy paste the level folder, rename it, change the info file so that it stands out, and then we go search, find in files or replace, any of them will work, and then we just have to tab to the find in files one. We want to put this in the find what, this in the replace with, and this is a quick guide, so watch a long one to learn how to make this, or just get it from the relevant topic, whichever one you need. And anyway, we also want to check filters, asterisk.nxlv directory should be the base of this folder, like where the modified pack is. In all subfolders should be enabled. Search mode regular expression, enable dot matches new line, hit replace in files, double check the directory and file type and go OK, and check that it's replaced the right number of levels. And let's check a random level, and there you go, there's our skill set. So hope this is useful, thank you for watching, and good luck with whatever modified skill set challenge you're doing. Oh, and just as a quick note, yes, you can do this with slightly different parameters to modify other things like the lemming count, spawn interval, basically anything. If you can do it with a text editor with a predictable pattern, you can do it with this sort of tool. Have fun.